Welcome back to Janice and Annie Chit-Chat. This is Alone for Valentine's Day Part 2. We have a few things that we're going to go over, and quite a few different things that you can also do to help yourself if you just have that feeling like, oh, there's something wrong with me. I don't feel good. I need to have somebody for Valentine's Day. There are a lot of people that are really struggling. They're suffering. I mean, I hear it from my clients. I see it in my Facebook groups. You know, like, I'm alone for Valentine's Day. What do I do? So Janice and I are going to give you a couple of ideas. Anything to say before I start going over forgiveness, Miss Janice?
Just love yourself. That love comes
There
with
we
that.
go. Yep. That's our goal, is to get you to love yourself. Might not happen by the end of this video. Might not happen applying a few of our things that we're going to be teaching you, but it absolutely, I can guarantee you,
Absolutely.
what Janice and I are talking about will have an impact. I 100% guarantee it. First thing I want to talk about is forgiveness. Now, I know when I was in my most traumatic breakup, it was my second marriage. I want to point that out because I'm really good friends with my first husband. We have kids together. We do things together. So it was my divorce from my second husband. He was living a double life. I was so traumatized that in the beginning, I remember thinking like, oh God, I'm going to have to forgive him. And then I was like, oh no, I get a pass on this. This is so bad, I get a pass. God does it. God isn't even going to forgive this. Well, obviously that's not the case. It took me some time, and I realized, no, you do need to forgive. And it was all about releasing the toxic emotion in myself, but it's also like feeling like you don't have a sense of control, right? Feeling like you lost your sense of control. So when you forgive, you're actually like kind of like letting it go, like, hey, I have control here. But there's not only forgiving whoever it was that may have hurt, that did hurt us, but it's also forgiving ourselves. I needed to forgive myself to put myself in a relationship where someone was living a double life, right? I felt like a fool. So forgiveness is for ourselves and towards other people. Now, I'm going to go over a quick, easy exercise, and this is like so incredibly powerful and so simple. Take a piece of paper. You're going to write an angry letter. Couple of rules here. And when I say rules, I mean rules, non-negotiable rules. One, nobody is ever going to see this letter. This is between you and the piece of paper. That's number one. Two, you write anything on that piece of paper, something you're afraid of even thinking, right? Any horrible thing goes on that piece of paper. Do not hold back, right? That's one. You're going to start each sentence with the word you. You ruined our family. You put us in debt. You ruined my life. You. Don't hold back. Use curses. Don't worry about, again, writing something that you shouldn't even be thinking, right? Then, that's only part one. You have to do part two. If you're going to do this exercise, you must do both parts. Part two, take another piece of paper, and everywhere where you have the word you replace it with I forgive you for. First, you say it out loud. I forgive you for ruining our family. Then you write it down. I forgive you for ruining our family. And then you say it again. I forgive you for ruining our family. Me just saying that, because when I was saying the angry letter, my energy kind of got up a little. It literally just takes you down. It takes you down. Now, again, this isn't magic. It took me years. It took me years to go through different levels of forgiveness, different stages of forgiveness. But this is something that just takes that toxic energy and reframes it. Remember the associations and the affirmations and everything that Janice and I have talked about already. So I forgive you for, right now. Once that's done, you rip those pages up, rip them up, do not keep them. You never show them to anybody, and you do not keep them so that you can read them again next week. Next week, if you want, you go ahead, you make a whole new set of letters. Always do part 2, let loose, you're really releasing emotions, and rip them up. So that is forgiveness. That's my forgiveness exercise. And I tell you, when I have done this in a room full of people, you literally feel the energy. You completely feel the energy just shift. So
it's sort of reminds me of the last episode that what we talked about was acknowledging, those feelings, and it's like you can't clean the house if you can't see the dirt.
Yep.
And you're seeing that dirt and then you're releasing. And it's really a wonderful thing. This is a very important
without
sentence.
judgment. Yeah, without judgment. That's why I said, right, and use curses, wish them over. Have at it.
And you love your visualizations. It's great visualization you can have there.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is a very important sentence. The inability to forgive allows those who hurt you to travel into your future. Mm-hmm. Okay? So the inability to forgive allows those who hurt you to travel in your future. Yeah. And I always tell this to my clients because I will have this young girl. Well, she's not that young. She's in her 40s, but she's having a tough time dating because of an abusive relationship from 13 years ago. And she's still struggling. Not anymore, because she said she's suffered enough and she's forgiven it. But she kept telling me, and it took, I would say, about 3 or 4 sessions before I got her to agree to forgive this person. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that, okay, what he did was okay. No, I'm not saying that. No. I'm saying that when you don't forgive somebody, you take the poison pill hoping the other person dies. Yep. And, anything, forgiveness is not a feeling, it's a decision. It's an effort of eliminating anything that conflicts with your emotional or spiritual balance. So she was walking there's Walking Dead. Well, she was so imbalanced because she was so resentful. Yeah. Forgiveness actually resolves resentment. Okay. So it's like taking a lozenge, a cough drop and sucking on that cough drop. And the time it's done, and I told her to think about it. Yeah. I want you to be all mad, put this in your mouth. Oh. And when it's done, let it go. Because, forgiveness dissolves the resentment. And she had so much resentment. But the problem was she was taking this one relationship. All men cheat. All men do not cheat.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. That's the association. That's the hook, right? Yep.
Yes. All men cheat, and then she wouldn't trust them, and then they were breaking up with her because she was a pain. Where were you? And she became a nudge, and then one after the other because she kept reliving her past experience. She was bringing her pain, her wounds, and bringing it to the future. She never resolved it. It took her 13 years to actually forgive it, to let it go, to resolve the resentment, and I just, every time she started, I just would take out a cough drop, wow. And she, and it's always great to, just like the eject button of the old tape recordings of negativity, anytime that you have an issue, do something that gives you that hook that something you say concrete. That hook. Yep. That connection that you can, do that and let it go. But she's like, but he never said he was sorry. And that was the wall we kept hitting into it. But he never said he's sorry. This is true. But he can't take your confidence and suck it out of you because he didn't say he's sorry. Yeah. You can't allow him to change who you are, because he didn't have the tools it took to apologize or even know that he was wrong. Yeah. Why? because we are all victims of victims.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was a victim. His mother didn't know how to love. You know, we knew about his childhood,
Yeah.
but she was expecting to have that respect that he was never taught. You know, and he didn't
Mm-hmm.
learn it, and he still doesn't know it to this day because he's also struggling. You know, so you have to understand that we can't take these things personally. It's not about you, you know, and you forgive for yourself. You forgive for yourself so you can grow, and you don't take these wounds to your next relationship.
Yeah. Repeat that sentence that you had said before. When you forgive, you're taking the person into your, when you don't forgive, right? You're
When you
taking,
don't, yes. So when you don't forgive, okay,
taking the
you,
person into the future. So
yes,
if you don't forgive yourself, you're also
yes,
taking yourself into the future without being healed.
yes.
You know?
And that's why, because
Yeah.
you're not healed, you keep finding broken men.
Mm-hmm.
You find people that belittle you.
Validate. Yep.
Yes, you
Validate.
find the same relationships and you repeat the same relationship until you heal, until you validate.
Yeah.
Validation comes within. Until you validate, you know, any kind of limited belief we have was really someone else's theory. You know, so it was someone else's idea, and then we took it on as our own.
Yeah. It's
You
an
know,
experience or a learning or something from the past.
yes,
And here we are right
yes,
now, and we
yes,
get to choose what we're going to take into the future.
right.
I
Because
love
you don't want to
you go ahead.
go.
I
No,
love,
you don't want to go, you know, on your dates wounded. You always want to come from a place from your worth,
yeah.
not your wounds.
Yeah.
You know, and how do you do that? It's by the mirror work that we discussed, you know, really, you know, practicing self-worth. I am worthy. Good things are coming my way. I deserve it. I'm worthy. And it, you know, and it's not about like being conceited. Oh, I'm so great. I'm so
Absolutely
wonderful.
not. Huge difference. Huge
It's
difference.
not arrogance. It's not
Nope.
arrogance, you
No.
know, because if it was arrogance, you know, then that is something different.
Well,
That's coming from
yeah,
fear.
you're not judging yourself as better than anybody else. You're saying
Yes.
I am worthy and special. Another
Yes.
thing that I use with anger and holding on to forgiveness is imagine yourself in a swimming pool, waist high. We're all
Mhm.
standing there and we look cute in our bathing suits.
Yeah.
um, and your forgiveness, I mean, your anger, your lack of forgiveness is a ball or a balloon, right? You
Hmm.
have to
Yeah.
hold that balloon under the water, right? And have a conversation with everybody in the pool, right? How easy is that? It's
Not.
not. You have to keep moving and shifting and moving and shifting.
Yeah.
So sometimes you feel like, oh, I don't want to go with the past. I don't want to bring that up anymore. Well, you know what? Just like you said, if you don't resolve it, you're in a pool trying to hold down a balloon and you're
Yeah.
really not in the moment. Who said what? Right? You're not present in the moment, carefree, rocking a bathing suit, laughing with your friends. You're really not because you have this other thing that you're holding on to. There's this block, there's this wall between true intimacy, even with friendships, even with family. You know, like we don't realize how powerful that idea that someone can hurt me and I can stay hurt.
Hmm.
No, it can all be gone. You can all heal. So,
You know what I think you could write on your mirror? Never let your future be kidnapped by your past.
mm-hmm.
You know, let it go. Let go.
Yep.
I always, one of my favorite expressions is let go and let God. Let
Oh
it
yeah.
go.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
you love the visualization, you know, work. So like I will put my stresses, if I have like stress, I literally put it in a suitcase. And because I'm spiritual, I walk it to the cross and I put my suitcase at the bottom of the cross. And my spiritual clients, when I do this exercise, is visual with them, you know, a lot of times they go back to get it. They put it down for a while, but then they go back.
Yeah.
Don't retrieve it. Leave it there.
Leave it in the
Let it
luggage.
go.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, because a lot of times we let go,
Yep.
but then we go back because it's that habit, that unruly child in us that wants to, you know, not take on something that we're trying to wire in, something positive, is trying to go to what's familiar.
It's
But you
familiar.
have to say,
Yep.
no, no, no.
Yeah.
I let it go.
Yep.
I gave it. I saw it.
Yeah.
I put it at the foot of the cross. It's not mine anymore. I'm going to walk it. I'm walking away.
And if you go back for that luggage, do not beat yourself up. Just remind you this is not serving me and walk away because
Mm-hmm.
it takes a while. And the other thing is under times of stress. we will tend to go back to those negative thought patterns or those older things, or like we talked about, like running up a credit card, right? Like we might tend to go back to those unhealthy patterns. Be
Mhm.
gentle and loving with yourself. That's not the way I want to live now, and come back into I'm rocking.
That's right. You know what it is? Like, saying I love and I accept myself in the mirror, but there's another thing, love it. I trust in the process of life and how it unfolds.
Hmm.
There's something like, and that's what I do. Like sometimes things don't go my way and, but then I think, well, maybe it's supposed to unfold this
That
way.
hair
You
wasn't
know,
going my way. It was tickling me. Go ahead. Something here doesn't go my way.
like trust in the process of life. Trust that you are worthy of receiving good things, and maybe this one little thing, maybe it's meant to be like rejection. Someone needs to leave their job right now that I'm dealing with. So is it rejection or is it divine redirection? It's
Yeah,
how
yeah,
you look at things, and trust
yeah,
in the process of life, and it's so much easier when you are spiritual because you always feel like God has got you.
yeah,
You have that.
yeah,
But when you don't have it, then you really need to rely on yourself, and you better be careful of the words you speak. You better be careful that you are speaking white magic over your life and not black magic,
yeah,
that you
yeah,
are speaking life over your life and not death.
yeah,
Because your words are powerful and your words are your reality. Your words is the house that you live in.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I think,
And if someone doesn't use the word God, like universal energy, there's something, like religious or spiritual, sometimes those words are triggers, but as you're saying, we're not alone. We're not in this
right,
alone. Like we
right,
are. You plant the seed, that seed grows. Like what do you think makes that happen? You know what I'm saying? Like there's
yeah,
something bigger than us. So,
that's
but I
right.
agree with you with being spiritual. I think letting things go and just always knowing, in my
Yes,
particular case, similar to you, like God has my back. God,
yeah,
anyway. So,
yes.
there was something else you were going to go over today. There was two other things you were going to do. I think
Well, okay,
candle.
so we talked about forgiveness. How about bury that shit?
Absolutely. That's perfect because now we ripped up an angry letter.
Yes, yes. So, what you can do, okay, this is an exercise I do with my clients, the things that are like that are weighing them down. This person, this woman, it was her boyfriend and the violence and the meanness. She was writing all that down on tiny pieces of paper. So it's like when you write something down, it comes alive,
Hmm.
So she was writing on a piece of paper. And I had a brown paper bag just like this, and on the brown paper bag, I wrote past on the bag.
Yeah,
Okay. I should have
yeah,
wrote past on this bag. But, I had the word past, and she put all the negativity, her sorrows, her disappointments, her anger, her fears, her limited beliefs. She put it all in this bag, and we discussed it. We kissed it goodbye, and we buried that shit. We did a funeral.
yeah,
She literally went in her backyard, dug a hole, okay, and she loved releasing it. Like she needed to release it. She needed to dig a hole,
yeah.
and she dug a hole in the backyard and she buried that shit. Some people, and again, it's not owning what upsets you, it's letting it go. Because when you let
Hmm.
things go and you release it, you make room for new things to come in.
Yeah,
You can't make room for new things to come in when you're so angry and you're resentful because you're just bringing your wounds all over the place.
yeah,
And wherever
yeah,
you go,
yeah.
you're just damaging all your relationships, self-sabotaging. You
Absolutely,
know,
absolutely. Yeah, yep.
procrastination might be in that bag. The word self-sabotage might be
Hmm.
in that bag, and we talked about why do you procrastinate? Why are
Yeah,
you procrastinating? So it was really something that was really powerful.
yeah.
And then she buried it. She loved it so much that on Christmas Eve, she made her whole family did it and they had a funeral on
Oh, that's
Christmas
really,
Eve.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was very cute.
Now, where
So
does she live? Is she in the Northeast? Like that would be the ground would be hard.
yeah,
Listen to me.
no,
I'm
she
thinking if you could.
was.
What?
Yes, she was.
Oh
It was
wow,
her
that's
ground.
really.
It was her ground. Yes, she was. Yes, she
Wow.
was.
That's an
You know,
interesting thing. We play board games. Maybe next year say, well, let's first release, and even though you're saying bury that shit, we're not talking about burying emotions. We're releasing emotions and then burying, you know, putting them back to the earth. So it's a different bury.
And again,
Yeah.
it's forgiveness. A lot of forgiveness isn't that bad. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like trying to let it go. Like, I'm going to forgive it. I'm not going to be wounded anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and she said, I've suffered enough.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
really have suffered enough. I don't need to suffer more. You know, I don't need to do self-destructive behaviors. I don't need to get high and miss certain things.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, like, your life was passing her by because of the hurt, you know, and so that's what she buried: her drugs,
Yeah.
her everything that was, you know, making her not be her best self.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And then
wonderful.
the
That's amazing. Yeah.
part two is making an affirmation candle. Okay. And Valentine's Day, this is a perfect thing to
Yeah.
do with your
Yeah.
family. It is about love, you know, so you could go to the dollar store. And actually I did it on a regular candle, but it was her idea actually to go to the dollar store, and she wrote it on glass. And now that's how I do it also,
Yeah.
because then it stays and it doesn't melt.
Yeah.
But, you know, she wants a partner. So she wrote loyalty. She wrote respect, honor, marriage, child, home. You know, that was her candle. Mine, I wrote on mine, I want to be a hypnotist, you know, unity, like things, everything that's important to me, you know, healthy clients. That was on my candle.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so what happens is when you see these words on your candle and you see it and it's at your kitchen table, and let's say you do this beautiful, you know, positive affirmation candle with your children, you know, when you see these things, it makes you, let's say you wanted to write a book and you wrote book, you
Yeah.
know, it
Yep.
then makes you think, oh, well, I better take some action. It helps you take action and it helps you strive for those goals. Just seeing those words, just like Dr. Emoto's powerful
Yeah.
words,
Yeah.
and putting them, your words create life or they create death. You know, it creates action or it creates bondage.
Yep.
You're free or you're in prison. Okay. So these words, if you have like a little procrastination problem and you wanted to write a book, that's one of my clients. He wanted to write a book.
Yeah.
So he wrote, you know, author, bestseller.
Yeah.
You know, he wrote on his candle. Well, he just hired someone to help him do his typing.
Wow.
You know, he just
Wow.
hired somebody. Yes, because of the candle. You know, that same person was afraid to go into a relationship. Well, now he's in love.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh.
so
Yeah.
yes, you know, because it gave him the confidence. So these candles help you take action, because affirmation is great, but you also have to take action.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have these affirmation candles with your children, you know, or just with yourself, and this is what you want to do on Valentine's Day, you want to take a bubble bath, buy yourself a box of chocolate, or maybe you want like a health day. I'm going to the spa.
Yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
to the gym. I'm going to only eat healthy. I'm going to treat my body with respect. You know, it might be that, but whatever that is that you need to do, end it with this candle of what you want in a year from now.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you want? And, you know, write it on the glass in permanent
Yep.
marker, you know, and when you light it, again, I always come from a spiritual place because I just can't help it. And that's why on my business card, I have spiritual advisor, because I just can't help but go there.
Yeah.
So I don't want to shock anyone, but
It works for you. No, no, no. There's no shock
yeah,
here.
it's who I am. It's
Yeah.
who I am. When I light that candle and I see the smoke going to the heavens, I feel like, you know, God, Jesus, like they're out there with their arms open like this,
Yeah.
you know, collecting my affirmations, collecting my prayers. And I feel like it's just sprinkled back,
Yeah.
you know, upon me. The blessings is sprinkled back. So, you know, like this, you could say a prayer. You know, you now released everything that you had that was not serving you. And now you're dreaming, you know, bet on your future, bet on it.
Well,
You know,
it's
you
the
could
end
write
result.
that.
You're putting the end result on the candle. Yep.
Yeah, I bet on it. You know, I'm not like, you know, but you have to come from a place where you feel like you deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we go back to the mirror work. If you're coming from a place of not deserving, it's really going to be hard for you to succeed in life. It really is. You have to come from a place that I own it. I deserve it. It's mine, you know, and why not?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. So one of the things that I do in a lot of my courses, this has made a huge impact for me. and I talked about the brain and associations and
Mhm.
what happens when we're under stress. I'm just going to say, because I read an article where the author uses happy chemicals or messengers and sad chemicals or messengers. So instead of getting into serotonin and dopamine and all these words that the minute I hear them, I go, blah, right? So there's happy chemicals and sad chemicals that are produced in our body. So when we're under a tremendous amount of stress, so if we're really like, I'm alone for Valentine's Day, right? Obviously, the messages in our brain are much more stressful or negative. Now, what happens is, normally, the brain works, it doesn't need us to tell it what to do, right? The brain's working, working, working. When you start to be really negative, not forgiving, down on yourself, the negative emotions, chemicals take over. The happy ones actually cannot do their job. So when you're really overstressed, it's truly a chemical imbalance. Now, I'm not saying run to a psychiatrist and you need medicine. It's like, you're on one foot instead of two, right? It's a chemical imbalance. Now the magical thing, as I said, the happy emotions, the happy messengers, happy chemicals stop working. The miracle of our body, the way we have already been talking, is we have control. We can do things to reignite, to add the happy messengers back. One of the fastest ways to do it when I am and it was not, I have been with anxiety and stressful times, never mind, like COVID and family illness, like where I just couldn't, there was like nothing, like if you told me count to 10, like that made me more stressful. But doing breath work and really learning how to breathe, it just takes you down. And there's so many different ways to do it. In my courses, I teach quite a few different methods, but a fast and easy one is just counting to 4 in and counting to 4 out. Now, the most important thing is that you're breathing down into your tummy. So if someone is in a very heightened state or overstressed, or they're really feeling a lot of anxiety, I suggest they put their hand on their tummy. And when you breathe in, make sure that your tummy expands, and then breathe out. And you're welcome, whatever feels comfortable to you, breathe in and out your nose and whatever. I mean, breathe in through your nose. Whether you breathe out through your mouth or nose, whatever you feel comfortable with. But just breathe into the count of 4, making sure it goes into your tummy, and out to the count of 4. In for 4 and out for 4. And what you are doing is you're interrupting that chemical imbalance, and you're allowing the body to recalibrate. We plant the seed, we water it, the dirt don't need us to do anything else, right? So, and again, it's another way of releasing control, right? Or releasing this type of control into the breath work is so incredible. One of the things that you can, I sometimes envision white light, or just white coming into me, and gray leaving. That's sometimes one of the visualizations.
I love it.
Yeah. Another one is Soham, S-O, and then it's H-A-M, but it's pronounced H-U-M, and that's an ancient Sanskrit meditation. So it's I-M. So when you're breathing it, like you said, right? So you're breathing in so, and breathing out breathing in so.
Is this yoga?
Well, it could be, but it's just a breathing exercise. Now, the specific thing about Soham, I am, is that linked to it is we're taking control over our mind and body, but also it's trusting that the universe fixes itself. It's literally, I'm releasing, I'm trusting that the universe, that God is the perfect corrector. God doesn't need my help, right? Yeah. So
trusting in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Breathing for me, and when I teach, it is, again, the same thing with that forgiveness letter, like shifting and framing. Such an easy, quick thing to pull you out of that, any type of ruminating. I'm not good enough. Nobody loves me. I'm alone for Valentine's Day. Take the money you would have spent on a dude and buy yourself something. Get a candle,
Exactly.
get a crown.
Absolutely.
Positive
You,
affirmations.
you know, I'm thinking as you're speaking, I can't remember who said this. It was one of my courses I took. The guy's first name is Dean. I can't remember his last name, but he talks about assitude. Okay. Assitude is
Oh, I never heard
wiggle
that
your
before.
ass. Yeah. So if you're stressed out, put on some music because if you are depressed, and it's amazing. Like this was in Tony Robbins had this class
Okay.
and he had someone stand up and he said, who's suicidal here? Who's depressed? So this guy gets up, he starts talking. He said, what are you so sad about? My wife is a miserable bitch. Oh, and he's like this. She's mean to me. She divides the children from me. And you see him and the head is down and he's, his posture is terrible. Okay. His breathing is altered and you see it, and then Tony says to him, tell me a good time. Tell me something that is positive. Tell me a time you laughed so hard. And he almost had the guy cry. But what it's shown you is that you can control your emotions, that he had the ability to go from depressing, I want to die to, oh, this was great.
Yep.
And the funny thing is, so he had us notice the posture because when you're depressed, the first thing you lose is your physiology, your posture. So if you're depressed, put those shoulders back. You said it, I think, in the tape before this one, smile and look in the mirror, and it's true. What you're saying is change your body, smile, and then your body, your brain doesn't know. Absolutely. It thinks you're happy because you're smiling and you're, but your brain gets the message when you're hunched over like this and your breathing becomes shallow and you're giving the example of breathing to calm down the amygdala, you're calming the fight and flight center down. All this takes messages the way your body is. So if you want to feel good right away, go into a Superman pose. They said 25
power pose. Absolutely.
Yes, a power pose.
Power pose.
Your cortisol levels, decrease 25% just by changing your body. Okay. So the next thing is, he talks about the attitude. Put music on. If you're sad, shake your ass. Put that music on, shake your ass.
I love dancing. Oh God, I love dancing, especially if I'm in a rut.
Yeah. Put that music on. Choose to get out of it. So shake your ass. It's called Assitude.
I love it.
There's
bury
also
that shit and
there's also Ballistude.
What?
There's also Ballistude because sometimes we need Ballistude too.
Oh, I love that. That's coming next.
That's next time, but this time it's Assitude.
Tune in next time for Ballistude.
That's right. Speak your mind, girls. Speak your mind. Get that crown on. But the next thing is, it's called the triad. The next thing is your focus. Whatever you focus on, you get more on. If you're looking for what's not there or what's bad, you're going to find it. If you're looking to see what's great, you're going to find that too. So be mindful of your focus. So if you're saying, for me, everything bad happens to me, you're absolutely right. You got a genie in your mind and it says, my wish is your command. And like you mentioned, it doesn't have to be true or false. It doesn't matter if it's true or false.
Yep.
Whatever you tell your mind, the genie in your mind says, yes, your wish is my command. I'll give you whatever you want. And that's what the genie's saying. Oh, you're fat? Okay, you're fat. My mother told us she was fat her whole life. And my sister Donna and I were looking at all the pictures of our childhood with my mom and like, oh, mom had a great body. Mom, and we're like, mom wasn't fat. Like we really thought she was fat because she told us. She told us, and it wasn't the truth. The brain doesn't care about the truth. It doesn't. It just, whatever you say, your wish is my command. And that is why your words are most powerful. Speak white magic of your life. Do not speak black magic. White magic, speak life. And it's also in the Bible to speak life over your life. The other thing is, so it was your physiology, it was your focus. Oh, and the third is the meaning you give things. Absolutely. So if you gave your breakup, he broke up with me, I'm unworthy, no one's going to love me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, every guy is bad and every guy's a cheater. If that's your meaning, you're absolutely right, because you do live in the house you speak.
Yep.
And if that's the words you're speaking, you're right. You're really right. And you are doomed, you know? So make sure you drop something. I'm fabulous. Just do the opposite,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
until you get used to praise. Make praise familiar, you know, and you will see that you will start attracting people that will praise you.
Yeah. One of the lessons I teach as an infinite possibilities trainer is changing your belief to truth. So what, like you were just saying, like all men cheat, or people are not trustworthy, right? So people are not trustworthy. If that's your belief, that's your perspective. Well, what's really the truth?
Yeah.
I'm trustworthy. I know Janice is trustworthy. So it can't be that all people are not trustworthy, right?
Right.
So change your belief to the, like, flip it, really, like, wait a minute. Like you had said, change the meaning. Like when you have an absolute in a negative way, you have to be able to find an example where that's not true. And then guess what? All people are trustworthy? Impossible to be true, right?
Yeah.
Does your husband
Yeah.
cheat? I don't think so. I know, yeah.
No.
So all men don't
No.
cheat? Absolutely not. I know plenty of guys that they don't cheat. They don't. Not all men cheat. Not all women cheat.
No.
Do some?
No.
Yeah. Do all? No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So, well, here we are again. Valentine's Day Part 2. Love yourself, ladies. Love, love, love yourselves. Any final wishes for our heartbroken ladies that now have all types of things to do to feel good? Just watching these videos alone is going to take up your time and distract you from feeling sad.
Put your crown on. Know who you are. Know your worth. And bring that worth into your relationships. You know, you don't want to be broken. You don't want to be Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Eeyore, not Eeyore. Eeyore. You know,
I want to be Tigger.
You know, yes, you want to be Tigger. You want to be happy with lots of serotonin foods, lots of energy, because you mirror who you are, and it's the truth. You know, I don't know. You know, I had one thought. Whatever you want in a man, you should write down on the list. I want someone that is serious. I want someone that, you know, pays his bills and is responsible. You know, write your list. I had my last client, she wrote 33 things on her list. And then I said to her, okay, that's great. It's a fabulous list. I said, let's talk about you. How responsible are you? Oh.
Oh, isn't that great? That's awesome.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
She was looking for someone to come save her, huh? No one's coming to save you.
You got to save yourself.
Absolutely.
And if you do not meet those expectations of yourself, then what makes you think some man wants that from you?
I never heard that before, Janice.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. What fabulous advice.
So if you want to be a girlfriend or you want to be a wife, I always have my clients, you know, this one, you know, she wants to be a wife. I said, start cooking, start behaving like a wife. So someone will look at you and say, oh, wow, you know, she's good wife material. Oh, wow, I would like her to be the mother of my child. You know, laying on the couch for 3 days, it might not work.
In whatever way, just to throw out a shout out in there, it doesn't necessarily mean cooking, right? It could be the dude likes to cook, but what you're saying is take on the energy, take on the attitude,
take on the energy,
be a wife.
Yes. Well, you know, honestly, Annie, how I feel, you know, personally, I always try to bring my best self forward. Yeah. So you need to, if you want to attract someone that has really great qualities, you know, you need to bring your best self forward, and you're going to attract that in another guy. But if you don't pay your bills and, you know, you know, are very mean to yourself, you're going to find someone that's also going to belittle you. Yep. You're going to find someone, if you don't like to pay your bills on time and you don't want to work like 5 days a week, you like 2 days better, you're going to find someone that matches that energy. You know, so if that doesn't work for you, then you need to, you know, upgrade who you are as a person. And that's not a terrible thing. We all need to do that. You know, we're always a work in progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, even at the age 60, at the age 70, at the age 80, we always want to better ourselves. We always want to learn. You don't want to be stagnant. And so, if you want someone with all these, qualities, then look in the mirror. I got in the mirror, and say, what qualities do I have that will, attract this high vibrational man?
Yeah.
But if your qualities are on the floor, well, guess what you're attracting?
Now that you talk about it, I had to take six-pack abs off the list. Healthy. Healthy tone, likes to hike. Yeah, six-pack
Might
abs.
like some cookies too.
Oops.
You know what? It doesn't have to be that specific.
I
But
know.
around about.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
the other thing, it's interesting you're talking about this. It should not be a specific person. If
Yes.
you really are like if you really have a specific person in mind, then at least have it be him or something like that person or someone better. Like you have to let God and the universe, you have to like the GPS, you might need to reroute. You should not have a
Yes.
specific person. I think like right now I have celebrity crushes. My longtime celebrity crush is Kiefer Sutherland. My current my current celebrity crush is Keanu Reeves because
Oh yeah,
I've
he's so
what, but I mean, things that are
he's
written
you know
about
why?
him,
Because
he's a
he's kind.
generous, yeah, he's a lot of kindness. But, from recently watching all the John Wick and all the Matrix, I'm like totally Keanu Reeves. So I can imagine Keanu Reeves, right? I can have that person with how he's
Mhm.
portrayed as an individual. I can have Keanu Reeves in my mind as I write my list, and Kiefer Sutherland, who's got balls of dude.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
so Kiefer
yes.
Sutherland, he's cool dude, right?
It's
But
in between.
yeah, but
It's in
I
between
can't be
that.
like, oh, I gotta have Kiefer, like I'm never gonna meet these men. But
Yeah.
you can have someone in mind. It might even be a boss at your company. It might be your friend's spouse, right? There are certain people that I will see their husband like, wow, that dude is like that's really cool. Like I can have
Yeah,
those
yeah.
things on my list. I'm not stealing my friend's husband by having those things on my list.
We're talking about Keanu Reeves, and it is so important what you said that you have a person in mind. But what I wanted to say with that, you're so right because so many times people miss Mr. Wonderful because it's the spirit of being superficial. So
Oh
that's
yes,
what I wanted to say.
yeah,
So when you were saying that, that was so smart to talk about because you're right. Like people have this perfect idea and it's not that perfect idea. Be open to what the universe brings your
exactly,
way
exactly.
because that
Yeah.
person, like sometimes you miss the boat. Many
Mhm.
people will say, oh my God, that guy, why didn't I see it then?
Yeah. In part one of our Valentines, when I took everyone through the visualization, I said, put the end in mind. So my end, when it comes to the most perfect boy, the most perfect man in my life, is some type of combination between Keanu Reeves and Kiefer Sutherland right? Now, as I said, that's where I made my list. But if I fixate too much on
Mhm.
exactly who it needs to be, then I might detour, right? So, um, as I said, this or something better. I just have to trust God, as we've been saying, right? I'm releasing. We're going through all these things to be in the moment, to not be holding the balloon under the water while I'm hanging out with you, rocking in our bathing suits, having fun in the pool, right? So I don't know, man. There's some guy out there. He's a combination of Keanu Reeves and Kiefer Sutherland. He's really cute. So and he's on his
it's
way.
so true.
I'm not worried though. The thing is, I'm in the moment. I
Right.
date.
There's no time like the moment.
Yeah, I date. I'm perfectly fine. It's not as though I have to. When I'm dating someone, that has to be now my next boyfriend. No, I can date a few different people here or there, and we'll see. Pandemic
You
might have
know
threw things off. Go ahead.
what I find a little dangerous, sometimes we're very rigid in our thought of what must be in our partner that is to come,
Yeah. Yep.
because what happens sometimes, one of my clients was, he has to be this tall, he has to have dark hair, he has to have blue eyes, she was going into what the arms look like, everything. And it's being a little, what the car he had, the clothes he wore. It's being superficial. And you
Mhm.
don't want to get stuck on being superficial when you have someone really great in front of you, but you're so stuck on this idea.
Yeah.
Again, the brain is very powerful that you don't want to have something wonderful in front of you, but you are so superficial that you can't even see what's good in front of you.
Yeah.
And literally what I had to do for her, because she really had issues, I really like prayed to the spirit of being superficial to be broken,
Mhm.
because she was so superficial.
Yeah.
And it did bring it to her attention as we discussed things in her life that she was a very superficial person, with a beautiful heart,
Yeah. Yeah.
and a great personality. But she really was stuck on things that were, blocking her success, because what she thought she wanted, she really didn't. She was blocking her future. She was blocking her future relationships because she had this idea that I don't even know where she got it from.
I cut you off. I apologize. It's really, but I'm going to keep talking. It's
That's okay. I was
really
done.
interesting that you're saying this because that's in a way putting her internal state externally, right? So yeah, you want to have certain characteristics in a
Mm-hmm.
partner. However, one of my characteristics is that I want to feel cherished. I want to feel honored. I
Yes.
want to feel respected, right? It's not I want him to have such and such of a car. I want him to be responsible. A nice car would be cool, but I mean,
Right.
at this stage in my life, I'm certainly not, in my 20s where, like an old car that barely, is on like 200,000 miles. Yeah, that's a little bit. That's not superficial. That's so I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. But it's very interesting that you caught that with her because
Yeah.
being superficial is also being outside of herself instead of what does she really want, right? So
And you know what, Annie, we talked about, that list. So that list, the one thing I know about you, you do honor, you do cherish, you do love. So these qualities that you truly have, you have them yourself, and that's why you're looking for that in a partner.
yeah, yeah, and it's fun to date. Dating is not, it's not
Yes.
as though socializing, getting to know different people. It's perfectly fine. Like it's. Like I'll go to the movies alone. I'll go to the movies with a date. I'll go to the movies with a friend. I'll go though when it's Marvel comics, my whole family goes. We take up a whole row. I mean when it's the Marvel
Yeah.
movies anyway. But so we went off on all different types of tangents. But thank you very much. And
You know too what's very helpful, like when you think about what's important to you, think about like a tragedy, like let's say that God forbid, like a parent dies or something like that. You want that person to be, supportive. You don't want to say, well, he went out with his friends drinking, but he has big muscles,
yeah,
because you really don't care. And if it's the other way, like, oh, you
yeah,
know what, you know, she she wasn't there when I lost my job and I was so upset and I had
exactly.
to go here and
Yeah,
I was so
yeah,
hurt. My brother was terrible to me, but she's got nice nails, great eyelashes, it's that stuff doesn't matter because the
no,
most
yeah,
important part about a relationship is the emotional relationship.
hmm
That is what keeps you together. It's not the muscle, it's not the blue eyes, it's not the height of a
yeah,
person. It's the heart. It's the emotional relationship of really understanding and getting one another.
yeah,
And that is what you have to put out in the atmosphere. Like I want a good person. I want a kind person,
yeah.
a gentle person, a loving
Yeah,
person.
yeah. And
Yeah.
as you're looking in the mirror saying, I love, honor, and respect myself, right? You're not
Mm-hmm.
going to feel comfortable with someone that does not love, honor, and respect you, right? You're going to
Mm-hmm.
recognize that. So, anyway,
So what you would say in the mirror is I am magnetically lovable. Wherever I go, I attract love. I am full of love. I love to give love and I love to receive love. I am a perfect balance of love. I love to give and I love to receive. And that's what you put out in the atmosphere. And honestly, you put your crown on. And if you go out and you walk and you say, oh, everyone's so nice. Everyone is kind. We're great people. Everybody loves me. I love everybody. You start seeing people going to look at you and smile for no reason.
yeah, no,
Okay.
you know what, Janice? Yeah, I agree. I really agree. I walk around stores like hi, make and people are sometimes like what, huh? Like sometimes you get like what, but even my favorite thing is when I am at a checkout counter, right? People are there and they're working and and they say, "So how are you doing?" Right? It's a generic question. I'm like, "Awesome," and they're like, "Ah," like it's because you're supposed to say, "Okay," No, I'm awesome, and then it automatically, wow, it's a
Or
yeah.
what about when you ask, how are you? How's your day? They look at you like, wait,
I
what?
know, I know. How are you doing?
You know,
And thank you.
yeah,
Thank you so much. I really appreciate like, to say things
yeah.
like that to people that are doing these certain jobs, it absolutely changes their energy, your energy, and
There's a
the next
story.
five people on their line.
There's a story of Marilyn Monroe that I forgot who she was with. She was with somebody and she was walking and no one was noticing them.
Yeah, yeah.
And so she said, oh, no one's like noticing us. And then she's like, watch them notice me. And she changed her posture and she walked and all of a sudden everyone's going, oh, Marilyn Monroe, oh,
Wow,
Marilyn.
isn't that amazing?
Just because she changed her demeanor and the way she walked, that all of a sudden people were noticing. And it
It's
was like,
that
it's
magnet.
like a
Yeah.
science experiment, just like
Power
Dr. Emoto
pose.
talks about. The power pose, lower that. And that was a Harvard study, that power pose.
Yeah.
It was a Harvard study that you raise serotonin levels, lower cortisol levels. Yeah.
Yeah, superhero.
The superhero pose. Yep,
Well,
Assitude.
Miss Janice, I think we need to say goodbye to our listeners for
Yes, agree.
Janice and Annie Chit-Chat Valentine's Day Part 2. What do we say? Chit-Chat out.
Chit-chat out. Chit-chat out. Yeah,
Chit-Chat
that's
out.
cute. Yes.
We will
We
see
can
you again
start chit-chat
soon.
in.
We'll see you again very, very soon. So keep an eye out
Yeah.
for our next